it now.
Welcome to another edition of Cajun Classic Cars TV. It's a hot day in Moss Bluff, Louisiana, but an even hotter car that we're going to look at with Joe. Tell us what we're looking at today.
We're looking at a 1967 Plymouth GTX.
Brought to you by VicariAuction.com and GoodwoodHardware.com. Check out our great sponsors.
Plymouth is out to win you over this year.
Plymouth is out to win you over with the 67 Belvedere GTX. Hottest of the white hot intermediates. Its optional Hemi V8 is the original shutdown king. Inside, beautiful. Outside, GTX has got it. Want a new kind of action? Go tell your Plymouth dealer, GTX.
Plymouth is out to win you over this year. Follow your heart, see a Plymouth dealer today.
Joe, before we start talking about this Belvedere here that you kindly brought for us to see here on Cajun Classic Cars TV, what got you into cars?
Well, I think when I was a teenager, hanging around with friends who had cars, you know, when I was still riding a bike, and then also helping them work on their cars, and I fell in love with hot rod cars back then, I'd say.
So what was your first car?
My first car was given to me by my mother. It was a 1963 Chevrolet Impala 4-door with a 6-cylinder engine in it and 2-speed power glide transmission.
That is amazing. And so is there a car in your history that you kind of went, why did I sell that, or why didn't I buy that?
Well, looking back now, you know, looking at all the cars and how popular they become and the value of them, I wish I'd have bought one of every kind back then. Basically, you know, I mean, it would be like a kid in a candy store. If I could just go back in time and pick out the car that I wanted, I'd probably get 2 or 3 different ones. But you know, one thing happens is a lot of times guys will put these old ads from back in the 60s or 70s about muscle cars for sale at the Mopar place or Chevys, and I comment on that. I said, I'll take one of each.
Well, the first car that you bought, how much did you pay for it? I mean, the first classic car way back when, as maybe a kid or something, not as a collector.
Well, I bought a car just like this one when I was 16 years old. I paid $1,000 for it. The only difference between this one and the other one that I bought back in when I was 16 years old in the summer of 1974 is that one had a 4-speed transmission and this one has an automatic.
Well, my first car was a 71 Dodge Dart, and my dad paid $500 for it.
Wow.
$500. So today that's maybe, if we're lucky, 3 tanks of gas on a regular car.
Yeah, I tell you what, these cars have gone up in value and just it's amazing. It's like making an investment, I'd say.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not just a financial investment, it's just an investment in peace of mind, having fun, something that you can go to the garage or the barn and do. It just take your mind off the world.
Yeah, well, you know, I agree with that because when I bought this car, I didn't have a place to put it, so it sat in the garage where my wife parks her vehicle, and she had to park outside for a while. So in the meantime, I built me a 30 by 30 air-conditioned shop with a lift in it because I'm getting too old to sweat anymore. I want to work in comfort.
I'm with you.
Things aren't getting any easier at this stage of the game.
No, when we get down there on the big red and the roller underneath there, and we start creaking with the knees and the elbows and everything, you start to realize this can sometimes be a younger man's job.
Well, that's correct. You know, I enjoyed working on cars before I got this and before I had my shop, and just changing the oil in the driveway. You know, you get down there on the creeper, you go underneath it, then you say, oh, I need this, and you got to roll back out and get up. And them old knees just can't get up and down like they used to.
Yeah, well, that's why I always would have my 15-year-old out there, and I'd go, crescent wrench, pliers, whatever.
Well, I've got a son, he's in his 20s, so whenever he's around, I ask him to hand me this, hand me that, do this, do that, so he's a big help. When I was 16 years old, back in the summer of 1974, I bought a car just like this, same color, except it had a 4-speed transmission, and this has got an automatic. So kept that car 20 years, sold in the mid-90s, because I'd lost interest in it. I had interest in other things. And every time you would go to drive it, you know, you just spend $100 on something to get it going. So I lost interest in it and went years and years, say, I don't know, 10, 20, 25 years. And so all my buddies started getting cars, you know, and then the internet came around during this time, and car parts were easily accessible and you could find them, and they were, you know, prices were reasonable. So they got cars, and I could go to car shows all over the area, and my buddies would see me and say, "When you gonna get one?" I said, "Oh, I'm looking." That went on for about 3 or 4 years, and so I just started looking online at different websites that old muscle cars, you know, and I kind of had a favoritism towards the Plymouths, Dodges, because that's what I grew up with. That's what I had before, and I knew how to work on them, you know. And another thing that I thought about was, hey, why don't I just go get one of them Hellcat Challengers and haul ass right off the bat? But then, as smart as I am, I got to thinking, you know, I know how to use wrenches, but I don't know how to use computers and work on cars. So
Does not compute. Does not compute. Does not compute.
I'm gonna stick with something I know how to work on, because the car I had before this one, the other GTX, I'd done everything on it. So I felt comfortable buying this, and then after, I'd say close to 2 years just looking online, getting ideas of pricing and all that, I saw this one on eBay for sale in Canada, about 40 miles north of Toronto. Got a message and asked me if I could drop by and look at the vehicle on my way home back to Louisiana. I said sure. So about 3 weeks later, I flew through Toronto, got me a rental car and booked a room for 2 or 3 nights, and drove up there. And, as soon as I saw this car, man, I just got goosebumps.
Now, I know that sometimes they made maybe a little twist here or turn here to make something different for the Canadian market. Was this different for the Canadian market that you know of, or was it you know, good old American car that happened to be up north?
I didn't see anything different that indicated it may be just for the Canadian market, or anything on the car, or anything involving the vehicle. I know the car was built in St. Louis, Missouri, and at some point it ended up in Canada. The paperwork that I have from the previous owners indicated that the car had a restoration around 2015, 2017. And so when I saw it, you know, I talked to the guy. At one time, he had 6 Plymouth B-bodies similar to this. He was a Mopar enthusiast. He loved Mopars, and he took good care of them. So he had 4 of them when I walked in the shop and saw this one. And because I was familiar with this vehicle, you know, this is the one I wanted. Okay, well, I know this car was originally gold. This is not the factory color of the car when it was manufactured, but it is a factory color from Plymouth. So this is the same color the first GTX I had back in the late 70s. The wheels have been upgraded from 14-inch to 15-inch. They are the factory design wheels, the rally wheels. And also the car probably had a rotisserie restoration based on what I've seen. I've seen sandblasted material in certain areas of the vehicle. I know that it was a quality restoration because every little clip, every little hose, everything on the vehicle is like it would be from the factory. So that really impressed me when I saw that. And just knowing that the owner of the vehicle, the previous owner, the way he took care of vehicles and took his time with them, based on the other ones I saw, I knew this car had been well taken care of. Hey, why don't we take a look under the hood so I can show you what's under there. .440 Super Commando. The engine looks just like it would from the factory, with the exception of electronic ignition has been installed here. It does have a slightly larger cam than came from the factory, which gives it a little lope, a little rumble. But other than that, this looks like it would from the factory. Hey Brian, let's hop inside. Let me see what you think about it. Okay, Brian, the interior would look just like it would from the factory, with the exception of these aftermarket gauges that are under the dash right there. However, it does have the factory tack. This is the factory tack. Console shift, automatic transmission, bucket seats. The bucket seats have been restored with a new cover on them. Probably from year one, I would say. The interior is just in wonderful condition. Wonderful condition.
That inlay on the seats, that design, was that indicative to the GTX, or what package was that? Did that come in other cars that you know of?
To my knowledge, it didn't. I think it was indicative of the GTX. I'm not 100% sure, but I know all the GTXs had it, and Plymouth GTXs. There was nothing like this in the Dodges. The GTX was called the gentleman's muscle car, so it had a few little extra features like that would kind of help it stand out and run fast at the same time.
You know somebody's really taking care of a car when you look up and you see a tight headliner like that, because a lot of times there's a sag or ripped or cigarette burns or something like that, and so they really did a good job, don't you think?
Yes, they did a great job on that headliner. There's no sags in it, no ripples in it anywhere. It's just like it would look from the factory. Speedometer shows 150 miles per hour on it. That's a true GTX.
Well, I was going to ask you, have you taken it to that?
Oh no, I've had it up to about 80, I would say, but the most. But I baby this thing. The first one I had, I didn't baby it quite this much, but I take care of this thing here. Rarely do I ever put the pedal to the metal, as you would say. Only to blow the soot out of it every now and then. Okay, Brian, would you like for me to crank it up?
I'll never say no to that.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and crank it up and let you hear this horsepower roar at you.
Joe, I want to shake your hand, man, for bringing out your classic ride. We thought we were going to have a little rain, and then we ended up with hot sun, which is great. But this is a beautiful Belvedere.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your compliment on the car, and I've enjoyed being here today, and I really appreciate this opportunity to discuss cars and show my car.
All right, man. Well, listen, guys, go to CajunClassicCarsTV.com. You'll be able to see this episode and a whole bunch more. Share it with your friends wherever you go. Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Carrier Pigeon. We're all over the place. And our great sponsors, visit their websites, VicariAuction.com and GoodwoodHardware.com. It's Cajun Classic Cars TV.
Oh, Belvedere! Come here, boy!
Let's go home, fellas. Soft because